Lately, I've been struggling with rest. And I've been struggling with rest in the way that I've been having such a hard time allowing myself to rest and not holding myself to an expectation of what rest needs to look like, and not judging myself for listening to my body in the way that it's asking for rest. Growing up, I was always around adults that were constantly doing, working, cleaning, cooking, caregiving. I never saw my parents rest. And as I was even thinking about what I was going to share, I couldn't really recall remembering my parents' sleep, because as a kid I went to bed before them and I was usually who woke them up. My point is, and I see this reflected in my life in the way that when I was in high school, I worked, I volunteered. I volunteered so much that I got an award for it in my senior year. I worked while I was going to school and took a full load of AP classes and honor classes. And then even as I got older, I did the same thing when I was in college. I went to school full time, I worked full time, I volunteered at school, and then on top of that, I didn't stop working when I was 16 until I quit my job in March of 2021. Let me correct myself. I took a month-long break in August of 2020, and it was a benefit of having worked for my previous employer for 15 years. And that was the longest amount of time that I took as an actual break. I took 6 to 7 months off when I had my kids, and people thought that that was a vacation, but you are doing a different kind of work. Instead of doing your desk job, you're keeping tiny humans alive. So let me be clear, that is not a break. Taking that break was so life-changing. I thought I was going to take this break and then go back to work, just like when I had maternity leave. And then I'd go back to work and it would just be like I took a day off or a week vacation. But the truth is, it unraveled me. Taking a month off and having a real break where I was just doing things that made me happy and just going with the flow shifted my perspective of what real work and what real rest are like. What that break gave me was space. It gave me space to really feel into all of my thoughts, my experiences, and my emotions from having been on this fast-paced, constant, high-volume workflow and productivity schedule and output, to really feel into what felt right for me and listen to my body and listen to my intuition of what it was calling in. During that time, we had the pandemic. So I'm at home, we can't really go anywhere. I have my kids, I actually had my niece and nephew staying with me too. And it really brought to the forefront of my attention what's important. We don't need to go places, do fancy things. We don't need fancy things either. And what's really important is right in front of you. Rest creates a container for your experiences and beliefs to crystallize within you, to hold you up and support you as you embody your most authentic truth, so that you can be a conscious leader and lead by example.